Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Way of Life podcast. I'm your host, Gus Holland. Um, I saw a quote today saying, "Do like your life depends on it." Um, so, for example, I've kind of been trying. I'm trying to use this podcast to, in a way, change my life, like at least the trajectory of it. Uh, yeah, I just messed that word up, but I I don't know, that really like lit a fire underneath me. So, for example, there's like 107 days I think left in the year at the time of this recording, which is slightly less than a third of the year. But um I don't know, it just really kind of kicked me into gear to try and do as much as I can when I can. Particularly like in regards to this podcast. Um, so just today, I've reached out to. I've already have about. Can't remember. I've got 4 or 5 people that have already verified that they're going to be guests on the podcast. Um, and I reached out to like probably 5 or 6 more people today alone. But I don't know how that mindset really got to me. I guess I am gonna be incorporating a lot more methods to try and grow this podcast. So the goal is to get some really good interviews on here. And they're kind of more the conversations. Like I don't really want to interview people. Basically, a few key questions per guest, and then kind of just like let it go where it goes type thing. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I'm just really excited about that. Really, I know you can tell by the way I'm talking, but once again, it's late here. Um, but I really wanted to get this stuff on here. The other thing I was I watched a video on was hindrances on the mind. So basically, it's kind of a long-winded way of saying that you're the one most of the time that's actually in your way. For example, there I go. There I go again saying for example all the time, but if you're wanting to change career path, um, and it's something, maybe it's just a different job, different company or whatever. Um, you're the one not putting in applications or learning new skills to try and further your position. And like myself, and like I've mentioned in previous episodes, a lot of the time it's out of fear. It might not necessarily be like a fear that's like upfront that you're conscious about. Um, it could be something kind of subconscious, like you're afraid of rejection, or you're afraid that your current company will find out that you're trying to like look around or something. Who knows what it is, but um, I don't know. Those two things just really stuck with me to try and not get in your own way. Um, so in besides finding more guests, I am gonna incorporate kind of like a. I really want this to grow primarily by word of mouth, um, just because that's been proven time and time again that that's the best way for a podcast to grow, and most businesses. Um, So I wanted to incorporate like a word of mouth program, kind of like um, a way to kind of reward people for spreading the word. Um, I think I'm gonna design like a poster or something that people can print out or share on social media. And then I don't know, maybe do a shirt giveaway or something like that. Or stickers or who knows what, but something to like reward the people that actually help right off the bat, because more growth leads to better guests leads to more growth, basically. um, and all of that provides for a lot more opportunities, not only for y'all because you'll be getting better content and more content, but for me and the podcast. So uh, the other thing I wanted to bring up today, September is self care, and I guess it's self care awareness and suicide prevention month. I guess that's kind of, I mean, they fall within the same, within a similar realm, but I don't want to get this podcast being too dark, but as well, I'll touch base on the self care aspect, but um, maybe I know the month is almost over, but I mean it can be done anytime. I mean, most Americans, at the very least, lack the appropriate amount of sleep. So maybe um, pick a day or two or three or whatever to kind of like wind down and try to maybe decompress some way. Like maybe just some extra sleep, stretching more, maybe doing like a 5 minute meditation, um, trying to get your gut health corrected, eating some good like probiotics and prebiotics and everything. Um, just try and do something to kind of help yourself, basically. If it's mental health that you're struggling with, you should always try to reach out to someone in person. Hopefully, you have a support system, family or friends. Some people don't, or don't feel like they can reach out to those people. So I really encourage reaching out to a professional, whether it's a doctor or a therapist, um, something along those lines. Yeah, but I really don't want this to get too dark or anything, but it is something that isn't um, taken as serious as it should be, because there's so many teenagers and young adults. I mean, really everyone, but I would say primarily teenagers and young adults that struggle with um, self care and suicide. Really. Anyways, I just wanted to touch base on that. And but going back to the hindrances on the mind. So in Buddhism, there are five hindrances of the mind. Similar kind of to, if you're a Christian, the deadly sins or whatever. But the five hindrances are sensual desire, which is basically lust, ill will, wanting harm to someone else, whether it's revenge or something like that. Um, Sloth, which is laziness, basically. Um, restlessness and worry. Those are together. Um, Basically, just stressing too much. This is all surrounded around mental health. And lastly, doubt. Um, Primarily self doubt, but that also goes for doubt towards others in your life, or maybe downing somebody else on their goals or whatever. So maybe pick one or all of them, whatever, and try and work on those. Obviously, they also within Buddhism they also list the method of suppression, um, which suppressing is good as like a short term alternative to resolve the problem. But then they also list a path of eradication, which is basically eliminating that negativity from your life, completely or as best as you can. Um, so, for example, for restlessness and worry, the method of suppression is serenity, which is basically finding kind of like an inner peace, or like meditating or taking some deep breaths, or whatever, removing yourself from um the situation when you're restless or worrying. um but the path of eradication is a word I'm not familiar with, but I can't I can't even say it. It's Arahantship. Uh, Arahantship, I guess. But it's that and non-returning. So it's basically saying if you're feeling restless, and worry, then to not feed into those emotions. Um, and so you kind of build a pathway within your mind to, I guess, cut it off right when you notice that you're feeling those, you're having those feelings, because overall, the worry and everything is going to just eat away at you and make you mentally exhausted, I guess, which leaves you vulnerable to the other hindrances, basically. But um, I guess that's the most simple examples I could really think of to try and help out. But anyways, I just wanted to put out this episode real quick. I'm gonna drop it today, which is a Monday, kind of just to help hopefully move along your Monday. I will be dropping another episode this week on Wednesday. And then we have our first interview episode dropping on the 29th. So be looking out for that. That should be a much longer episode. I do want to thank everyone that's been supporting and downloading and reviewing and everything. If you want to send an email to us, either about an episode or whatever, really, you can send an email to wayoflifepodcast@gmail.com. You can follow my personal Instagram at Gus Holland, but it's GUSSHOLLAND. Or you can follow the podcast's Instagram at Way of Life Podcast. And that's about it, really. We are trying to get a lot more. I say we, it's just me. I am trying to get a lot more reviews on Apple Podcasts because that really helps with visibility. So if y'all could leave positive review, that'd be greatly appreciated. But I will be talking to y'all soon, and have a great week. Love y'all.